My name is Leon Bloch. At the time now I'm 95, but we're talking about the start of the war, which was in 1939, 1st September. I went to a gymnasium that's roughly the same as our grammar schools in this country, but before the war actually started, we were on holiday. So nothing was happening as far as schooling goes. The Germans were already in town, which seemed to be a big surprise, because there were about 1,000 of sailors that came and marched through the town practically every day, a few times. And the ship they came from was a big battleship, the Schleswig-Holstein. He was parked sort of facing the island of Westerplatte. So we didn't know the reason why he was there and what they were doing. Little things were happening prior to the 1st of September, such as the Kristallnacht, where Germans were smashing the windows of any Jewish shop that they could see. I know for a fact, the first one I always remember, I had a friend from there that I went to school with, from Freimann, and they were really smashing that shop completely. And I told my dad, and he said I should never stop watching things like that, because it's a danger to myself and even the people in that store. But it was explained to me then that they had done that throughout the town and smashed all the Jewish shops, which seemed to be rather a pity. But then coming closer to the time of the outbreak of war, we were resting in our house and fast asleep when suddenly what awoke us was the thunder of cannon fire being started from the harbor, and the bombs actually flew across our house. And we went out to have a look, and lo and behold, there was German forces outside, not German army, but still the naval, and SS, SR, the Sozialarbeiter. They were there and they just came up and took my dad and said, "You're not going to work night, out you come," and they smashed him with a rifle butt in the back of the neck. He went flying, he fell. My mother, she nearly broke down, and they just took him away. I screamed out and shouted, "What on earth is that for? He's done nothing at all, getting ready for work." So they just shut the door and threw us all back in. My mother was taken rather ill, and we had to call an ambulance for her to be taken to the hospital. So that meant I was left with my brother, who was 2 years younger than I, and my sister, who was 3 years younger than I.
Here we go.
Once the training stopped in Nijmegen, the walking out parade, we found out that we all became Marines, not sailors, because I don't think the amount of Poles that were around us, they decided that we are not safe on a ship because the other German sailors wouldn't like us. But then our duties became rather nice, because we were just guarding the Eiffel Tower, the Place de la Concorde, and all the monuments in Paris. That was really a cakewalk as far as war goes. But that didn't last too long. We had to get back and really became stationed in a place where really everything went topsy-turvy. We got another boat then and made our way back without the knowledge of our commander, of Korvettenkapitän Kirchhoff. And lo and behold, our good luck ended when we were sunk off Knockhound. We got out of our boats and tried to see how far away we were from land, which wasn't too far. In the end, I just managed to get the clock off the boat, or wasn't a ship, it was just a little boat, and we landed on the beaches. And then we had to decide and find out what on earth we found, but the main thing was we found bunkers, and the bunkers must have been for the German armies, but we went in and found food, and we thought we were in heaven. But not shortly after that, we suddenly had someone shout in Flamansk to come out or be shot. And it was a policeman, and he said, "We are the Belgian police, we want to know what you're doing in this place, because this is the grounds of the Belgian kings." So he said, "What on earth are you going to try to do here?" I said, "We will go on." He said, "You know, the Germans are all around because they will want these bunkers." Well, we won't let them have it. But then there was a hotel when he went. He said, "I'll come and see you tomorrow. I have to see my commandant in the police force to see what to do with you. Because we are used to the infantry coming back, tanks or whatever, but not sailors." So we seen this hotel and we said, "What on earth, what the hell am I staying in this bunker? We're going to stay in the hotel." So up we went, good job. We went on the first floor. It was really nice, all lovely beds. We were going to settle down. Suddenly someone screamed in German from the bottom, "Raus, raus, raus, schnell." And that means very quick, everybody out. He said, "I've already lit the fuse, the hotel is being blown up." We didn't even have time to come down the stairs, down the steps, stairs or whatever. We had to jump out of the windows, and hopefully everything was right. We got all right. Once the training stopped in Nijmegen, the walking out parade, we found out that we all became Marines, not sailors, because I don't think the amount of Poles that to meet the Polish underground boys, the ones that are having a little meeting, secret meeting, and they asked me to join them, but they said, "We've got no place for you as yet, we'll find something." In the meantime, my policeman, he took me to the police station and they interviewed me and gave me a pass, and they said, if you're not in a hurry to race home, which is nearly impossible, we give you a sort of a pass or passport and change your name, and that's what you will be known by. And the name is Louis Janssens, and the other word is Angehoud, which means not married. That's all in Flamandsk, in Dutch. Ongehold, and my job was hotelbediende.
Right.
I met the underground lads, and they sort of said, unless I had a bit of training, because we are working mainly in the towns and such areas, and trying to catch the Germans on the hop. But if you are with a policeman now, we'll be back in touch with you. But he put me up into the loft and he said, and the police commander in Knockansee had me just have a lookout from the loft down onto the park that was the King's place where he stayed, coming to the beaches. And what he wanted me to do is see where the Germans lay the mines, because whilst they were retreating, they were laying a lot of mines all around, and I had to take a picture of it. Not such as a photograph, but sort of make a drawing where all these mines are.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Yes, apologies. It's not called a tank regiment. It was the 1st Polish Armoured Division. And we were sent to various different camps where we were trained. And on the tank itself, it took a while before we actually got into one. We got to Kinross, Kinghorn, Aberfelde, and the like all over Scotland. And once we got to Aberdeen, we at last knew what we were going to do. I became a radio operator on the tank. I was hoping to be driving one, but no such luck. And that one took us down to southern England. And from there on we waited to straight away get back to the continent, which didn't happen that quick because of the weather conditions. And paratroopers going in first, landing still sort of out of Belgium into Holland. So therefore we were waiting our turn. But I did get a chance towards the end of all the fighting that was going on in Belgium, and actually got on a tank, and we were driving into Bruges, which was very famous with the Polish forces because they got it, but not me. And then back again to Britain, and used my life further in the army and more training, even as far as parachute training, just in case it was needed. Can't say I enjoyed it too much. And nearly we coming towards the end, where I was demobbed, and lo and behold, I was sent back to Cheltenham and was given to a British brigadier, Brigadier Todd, because I spoke Polish, German, and already English, because I learned it at school, the English part, and finished my army life in Cheltenham Allenwood camp. And we were resettling Polish troops back home.
This is Dad on a school trip. This is Dad in the working on the farm on the far right, and that's Dad's school friend Edmund in his uniform. He became a tank commander in the German army. This is Dad's his pass card when he lived in Belgium. He became a waiter. So this is already
that was the underground.
Working the underground. That was his false ID. So again, this is the worker battalion. This is the troop that Dad got conscripted to. And these are pictures of my father as what do you then? This is these are pictures of Dad with his uniform, and this is the naval outfit, and that's the other military outfit that Dad had to wear.